It was another rainy day in Strathire, and Chris, Christy, Christopher, Digger and Bert had decided to snuggle down on the sofa to have a movie marathon. Digger had chosen The Secret Life of Pets, Christy had decided on Paddington, and Bert wanted to watch The Jungle Book as he loved singing along to the songs. Bear and Mooey, however, were feeling a bit restless. They hadn't been outside for a few days as it had been so wet and they were missing their fresh air, so they decided to leave the others on the sofa and persuaded Dr. Jane to take them out on an adventure. It was still raining a lot, but Bear and Mooey knew that their fur would dry once they got back home. Feeling very excited, they set off into the forest. Bear and Mooey soon found a sign that pointed them in the right direction. They were going on the Ben Sheehan path, although they weren't going all the way to the top of the hill. The forest path was a bit muddy with all the rain, but Bear and Mooey didn't mind too much because they were so happy to be out in the beautiful trees. As they made their way up the hill, they kept stopping to look around them and noticed how all the leaves were growing and getting very green because of all the rain. As they made their way up the path, it began to get a bit steeper. Mooey was feeling a little uncertain on the loose rock, so Bear stayed behind whilst Mooey clambered up first. "Don't worry, Mooey," shouted Bear. "I will catch you if you slip." "Thanks," puffed Mooey. "This is hard work." The friends kept plodding up the path and soon came across another sign that pointed the way. Mooey climbed up to check which way they needed to go. "Come on, Bear, it's this way," she called from her vantage point. "Be there in a sec," replied Bear, who had gone slightly off route into a little grove of baby trees that he wanted to explore. "Ouch!" he cried. "These are really spiky and the needles are sticking in my fur. I won't be climbing these." As they carried on up the Ben Sheehan path, it began to get really steep, and the friends struggled to keep up with Dr. Jane. It was so tiring. Bear and Mooey were very happy when Dr. Jane gave them a lift up the steepest bit. Bear and Mooey were really enjoying themselves and were loving the adventure, even if they were getting very wet. It was great fun finding obstacles along the way and working out how to get round them. When they found a fallen tree blocking the path, Bear decided to climb over it. "This is great!" he cried. On the other hand, Mooey was not so keen on climbing, and she noticed a little gap under the log. "I think I can squeeze through here," said Mooey, eyeing up the gap. "Hooray!" they cheered when they both managed to conquer the tree. "Let's just stop a minute and catch our breath," said Bear, as he found a comfy spot on top of the trunk. The friends carried on up through the trees and along the path that wound its way up over more trees, rocks, and a few slippery tree roots. Eventually the narrow path brought them onto a much bigger track in the forest, and Bear and Mooey stopped and looked at each other. "Which way now?" asked Bear. "I'm not sure," replied Mooey. Thankfully, Dr. Jane knew the way, and the friends turned right and ventured higher up into the forest and into new territory for both Bear and Mooey. "This is so exciting," cried Mooey as she ran off along the path. Suddenly, Bear stopped and stared into some long grass at the edge of the path. "Come and look at this, Mooey," called Bear. "I think I've found some poo." "That's not poo, Bear," said Mooey when she joined him. "It's a waste pellet from a big bird of prey. I read about this in my school book the other day. Birds like buzzards eat little furry animals, and they can't digest the fur and bones and stuff, so they sort of spit it back out. Look, here is some more of the bones and fur over here." "Ugh," said Bear, "that's a bit horrible. I hope they don't eat us." "Oh, don't be silly, Bear," said Mooey. "We are way too big for a bird to eat. We will be fine." "Phew," said Bear, and the friends carried on along the track. Just then, Mooey stumbled across some real poo and called Bear over. "Look at this," said Mooey. "I wonder what animal made this." "I think I know," whispered Bear, and nudged Mooey to look up ahead of them, where a little flock of sheep were meandering along their track. Mooey grinned. "Yes," she said, sniffing the poo. "It's definitely made by sheep. I'd know that smell anywhere." "Mooey, that's gross," said Bear, wrinkling his nose at his friend. Feeling a bit tired, Bear and Mooey were very happy to reach the top of the track and find a lovely rock to sit on and take a rest. The rock was rather wet, so they didn't sit down for too long. However, they did take a few minutes to admire the view of the cloudy valley before jumping down off the rock and heading down the path towards home. As they stomped down the hill, Bear paused for a moment to look back at where they had walked, that it had been such a long way. When he turned back round, he saw that Mooey was running quickly down the hill towards home. "Wait for me!" shouted Bear. But Mooey didn't seem to hear him, as she was too busy thinking about that piece of cake that would be waiting for her when they got back. Bear eventually caught up with Mooey and persuaded her to stop for a minute, for him to get his breath back, and for them just to enjoy the peace, quiet and freshness of the forest air. "It's been a lovely walk, Bear," said Mooey. "It certainly has," agreed Bear, "even if we are a bit wet now." The friends then slipped off their rock perch and skipped down the last bit of track towards home. It had been a great adventure for Bear and Mooey, and they couldn't wait to share their story with their friends. Bear was also secretly looking forward to snoozing on the sofa whilst the others continued their movie marathon. It had been a big, exciting and very tiring adventure. The end.